Paragraph 1. There comes a moment in many people's lives when they begin to notice that the harshest voice they hear is not from the outside world, but from within themselves, quietly shaping their thoughts, decisions, and sense of self-worth. This inner critic often speaks in tones of doubt, judgment, and unrealistic expectations, making even small mistakes feel like major failures. Over time, this pattern of self-criticism can become so familiar that it feels normal, even justified, yet slowly erodes confidence and creates emotional distance from one's true potential. The shift from self-criticism to self-compassion begins with awareness, recognizing that this internal dialogue is learned and therefore can be changed. Inspired by the teachings of Joseph Murphy, the idea emerges that the subconscious mind responds to the thoughts and beliefs we repeatedly impress upon it, meaning that the way we speak to ourselves is not just commentary, but instruction. When negative thoughts dominate, they reinforce limitation, but when kindness and understanding replace them, they open the door to growth and healing. Self-compassion does not mean ignoring mistakes or avoiding responsibility. Rather, it means approaching oneself with the same patience and encouragement that one would naturally offer to a close friend. This subtle but powerful shift changes how challenges are experienced, turning moments of failure into opportunities for learning instead of sources of shame. As individuals begin practicing this mindset, they often notice a reduction in anxiety and an increase in emotional resilience because they are no longer fighting against themselves. Instead, they are working in alignment with their own well-being. Developing this habit requires consistent effort, such as pausing during moments of self-judgment and consciously reframing thoughts into more supportive language. For example, replacing "I always mess things up" with "I am learning and improving each day" may seem simple, but it gradually rewires the mental patterns that shape behavior and belief. Over time, this new internal narrative becomes more natural, allowing confidence to grow from a place of authenticity rather than pressure. The journey towards self-compassion is not about perfection, but about progress, about choosing again and again to respond with understanding instead of criticism. In doing so, individuals begin to build a healthier relationship with themselves, one rooted in acceptance, encouragement, and the belief that they are worthy of growth and success. Paragraph 2. As this practice of self-compassion deepens, individuals begin to notice subtle yet meaningful changes in how they respond to everyday situations, especially those that once triggered frustration or self-doubt. Instead of reacting automatically with criticism, they create a small but powerful pause, allowing space for a different, more supportive response to emerge. This pause becomes the foundation for emotional regulation, making it easier to navigate challenges without becoming overwhelmed by negative thinking. Drawing inspiration from the principles shared by Joseph Murphy, it becomes clear that repetition plays a crucial role in shaping the subconscious mind, and that consistent exposure to compassionate thoughts can gradually replace deeply rooted patterns of self-judgment. With time, these new patterns begin to feel natural, influencing not only how individuals think, but also how they act and interact with others. When a person treats themselves with kindness, they often become more patient, understanding, and empathetic in their relationships, creating a ripple effect that extends beyond their inner world. This transformation is not instantaneous, and there may be moments when old habits resurface, especially during times of stress or uncertainty. But these moments are not signs of failure. They are opportunities to practice compassion even more intentionally. By acknowledging setbacks without harsh judgment, individuals reinforce the idea that growth is a continuous process rather than a fixed destination. Practical techniques can support this journey, such as mindful self-reflection, journaling, and affirmations that encourage positive belief systems. For instance, taking a few minutes each day to write down supportive statements or reflect on small achievements can help strengthen a more balanced and encouraging inner dialogue. Over time, these practices build a sense of trust within oneself, replacing fear-based thinking with confidence and clarity. As self-compassion becomes more integrated into daily life, It also enhances decision-making, because individuals are less likely to act fear of failure and more likely to pursue opportunities aligned with their true values and aspirations. This shift leads to a greater sense of fulfillment, as actions are no longer driven by the need to prove worth, but by a genuine desire to grow and contribute. Ultimately, embracing self-compassion allows individuals to break free from the limitations imposed by constant self-criticism and step into a more empowered version of themselves, one that is capable of facing challenges with resilience, learning from experiences with openness, and moving forward with a steady belief in their own potential. Paragraph 3. As individuals continue strengthening the habit of self-compassion, they begin to experience a deeper sense of inner stability that is not easily shaken by external circumstances or temporary setbacks. This stability comes from a growing trust in their own ability to handle difficulties with patience and understanding rather than fear or self-judgment. Over time, they realize that their worth is not defined by perfection, achievement, or the approval of others, but by an inherent value that remains constant regardless of outcomes. This realization is transformative because it shifts the focus from constantly trying to prove oneself to genuinely supporting one's own growth. Inspired by the teachings of Joseph Murphy, the concept of mental repetition continues to play a key role as individuals learn to consciously choose thoughts that align with encouragement, possibility, and self-respect. By doing so, they gradually reshape their subconscious beliefs, creating a mental environment that fosters confidence and resilience. This internal shift begins to influence how they approach long-term goals, allowing them to pursue ambitions with a sense of calm determination instead of pressure or fear of failure. When challenges arise, they are no longer viewed as threats to self-worth, but as natural parts of the learning process, providing valuable insights and opportunities for improvement. In this way, self-compassion becomes a powerful tool for sustained personal development because it encourages persistence without the emotional exhaustion that often comes from constant self-criticism. Daily life also becomes more balanced as individuals learn to set healthier boundaries, prioritize their well-being, and recognize when they need rest or support. Rather than pushing themselves to the point of burnout, they develop a more sustainable rhythm that respects both their ambitions and their limits. This balance contributes to a stronger sense of clarity and purpose, making it easier to stay aligned with what truly matters. As the inner dialogue continues to evolve, it becomes more encouraging, constructive, and solution-focused, replacing the old patterns of doubt and negativity. This change not only enhances personal confidence, but also opens the door to greater creativity and problem-solving, as the mind is no longer restricted by fear-based thinking. Ultimately, the journey towards self-compassion leads to a more empowered and authentic way of living, where individuals are guided by self-trust, resilience, and a genuine belief in their ability to grow. By consistently choosing kindness over criticism, they create a foundation for lasting confidence and emotional well-being, allowing them to move forward in life with strength, clarity, and a renewed sense of possibility.